Two of the most anticipated games coming out this year are Battlefield 5 and Black Ops 4. I mean, we shouldn't really be surprised. These two franchises have been going head to head for about the past decade. And as a fan of both franchises, I've gone back and forth between which one I prefer over the past 10 years or so. But today, I want to take an in-depth look at both games and see which game is more deserving of your hard-earned money. What is up, guys? I am the Gaming Gorilla. It is a pleasure to have your company once again. If you haven't already, make sure to smack that subscribe button down below. It'll only take a few seconds and it'll be greatly appreciated. While you're down there as well, don't forget to smack that bell icon to get notified every time I make a new video. So, Battlefield 5 vs Black Ops 4. Which game is best for you? Alright, so what we're going to do is run through each aspect of these games, those being multiplayer, single player, co-op, and of course, Battle Royale. That should give you a pretty good idea of which game you should prefer, but if you're still on the fence, I'll give my opinion at the end as well. Let's go.
Round 1. Fight!
Alright, so the first and probably most important part of these games is the multiplayer. Now, as always with these two franchises, the multiplayer offers completely different experiences, with Battlefield 5 offering massive scale combat, and Black Ops 4 offering a faster paced run and gun style of gameplay. But let's look a bit further to see which game will offer a better multiplayer experience overall. Battlefield 5 is set in the largest war the world has ever seen, that being World War II. And while that may not provide as many gameplay opportunities as a modern day shooter would, it certainly allows more diversity than what we saw in Battlefield 1 a couple years ago. As always, large scale combat is back, and we're going to see the 64 player matches that we all love. But of course, one of the main questions you'd have to ask is how is it different to Battlefield 1? Let's take a look. One of the main changes in Battlefield 5 is the increased focus on squad play. One of the main examples of this is in Battlefield 5, you'll be able to revive anyone in your squad, regardless of whether you're a medic or not. What we'll see as a result is players sticking together with their squads more in the game. Not only that, but you'll also spawn in with less ammo, and you won't automatically regen your health to 100 HP. Now, I know what you're thinking, what the hell does that have to do with squad play? Well, think about it for a second. If you don't spawn with as much ammo, or you can't fully regen your health, you're going to need to stick with your squad. You're going to need your medic, and you're going to need your support in order to essentially stay alive. Battlefield 5 will also introduce building to the franchise. In specific parts of maps, players will be able to construct pop-up walls or fortifications to protect themselves. If you're worried about too much building popping up in the game though, don't. Because there'll only be a few spots in each map where you can build. It won't be like Fortnite or anything like that where you can just run around and pop up buildings wherever you like. One of the other major improvements in Battlefield 5 multiplayer is Grand Operations. Essentially, what Grand Operations is an expansion on Battlefield 1's Operations mode. Now, if you don't know what Operations is, don't worry, I've got you covered. Battlefield 1 Operations put two teams against each other, one attacking and one defending. But it wasn't just your regular attack and defend mode. Defenders were given the task to defend an objective, or at times multiple objectives, from the attacking team who was armed with lots of vehicles and behemoths, like an armoured blimp or battleship for example. So the way Battlefield 5 expands on this is matches will actually last multiple matches. In other words, the outcome of the first game will completely change the second match. DICE, the developer of Battlefield 5, went on to say, quote, "Play well on the first day and deploy with an adequate supply of ammo or vehicles when the map shifts. Do poorly and you'll deploy the next day with perhaps fewer respawns, vehicles, or other resources." So to sum up Battlefield 5's multiplayer, if you liked Battlefield 1, you'll like this. It essentially takes the Battlefield 1 blueprint and expands on it in a World War II setting. More vehicles, new maps, more guns to shoot. It's the Battlefield we all know and love. Looking at Black Ops 4 on the other hand, the reveal of Black Ops 4 multiplayer has been, to say the least, pretty controversial, with some fans loving the new changes the game's bringing and others hating it. The first thing to note about Black Ops 4 is it's completely boots on the ground. Now, obviously last year's World War II brought boots on the ground back to Call of Duty, but nonetheless, it's still a big selling point of the game. But what made the reveal of Black Ops 4 multiplayer so controversial and so different is the complete overhaul of the way the game's played. In 2015's Black Ops 3, Treyarch introduced the Specialist system to Call of Duty, This year, they're taking it a step further. What Black Ops 4 is doing is bringing a more strategic style of play to Call of Duty, something that's never really been attempted before. Let me throw out an example of how they're trying this. Automatic health regen is no longer a thing, a first for the Call of Duty franchise. Now you have to manually press a button to heal yourself. However, you can't just heal yourself all the time, your heal ability has a cooldown. Enter Crash, the healer specialist. Crash has an ability which allows him to heal certain teammates. See what I'm getting at? Black Ops 4 is trying to turn Call of Duty into a more competitive game. Think Overwatch or Rainbow Six Siege. Not only that, but also similar to Overwatch or Rainbow Six, only one person per team can use a certain specialist, meaning that you'll have to communicate which specialist you're going to use and work with your team to make that work. Also in Black Ops 4 multiplayer is the return of League Play. League Play is Call of Duty's spin on a competitive game mode. Again, think Overwatch or Rainbow Six Siege. So for the first time since Black Ops 2, Call of Duty will allow players to compete and rank up in a competitive environment. So who wins round 1? Well, this one's pretty hard to tell, because if you like wide open gameplay and being able to work in a team with your squad, then Battlefield 5 is the one for you. But if you like a faster pace but also somewhat strategic gameplay, then I'd look at Black Ops 4. So I'm sort of gonna sit on the fence with this one and say this one is up to you.
Draw. Round 2.
Battlefield 5's single player will take a similar path to Battlefield 1, in that war stories will be returning in Battlefield 5. And while we don't know any exact details on what stories to expect, if it's anything like Battlefield 1's war stories, you should expect to be put in the shoes of different soldiers from different sides of the war, and taken on a journey to show just how difficult World War II actually was. Looking to Black Ops 4's campaign... Oh wait, yeah, Black Ops 4 doesn't have a campaign.
Round 3.
Alright, let's switch it up this time and start with Black Ops 4. And of course, BO4's co-op mode is zombies. But I think with this year's Zombies installment, fans should set their expectations particularly high. Here's why. Ask any Call of Duty player what their favourite edition of Zombies was, and I guarantee 99% of them would either say World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, or Black Ops 3. And the reason for that is Treyarch. Treyarch are the developers of World at War and the Black Ops series, and they're the studio that created the zombie mode in Call of Duty. Treyarch does zombies best, and not only is it back in Black Ops 4, but it's back with more maps than ever at launch. At launch, Black Ops 4 will have 3 maps, the first being Voyage of Despair, which is interestingly enough actually set on the Titanic in the year 1912, the second map being a remaster of fan favourite map Mob of the Dead, which takes place in Alcatraz prison, and finally a map called 9. What's interesting about this map is that players won't actually spawn with guns, and while there will be some guns throughout the map, most of the weapons players will use are actually melee weapons. And while details on the mode haven't been shared just yet, the trailer on screen now should give you a pretty decent idea of what to expect. Moving to Battlefield 5, co-op's never really been a strong point for Battlefield in the past, with the last attempt at a co-op mode being way back in Battlefield 3. However, this year, Battlefield 5 will have a brand new co-op mode called Combined Arms. And while not many details have been shared on this mode either, what we know is that it's a 4-player co-op mode that will place players in a scenario that will randomly create missions for players to complete. It's also supposed to be an introduction type mode for players that are new to the Battlefield franchise. Now, to be quite honest, this is a massive disappointment for me. This is the first co-op in Battlefield in a really long time, and it seems as though it's a bit of an afterthought. It's especially disappointing because with a game that has the scale that Battlefield does, they could make a really good co-op game if they actually put effort into it. But, with that said, this round undoubtedly goes to Black Ops 4.
Final round.
So with the fourth and final round is Battle Royale, a new mode for both of these franchises. I actually just made a video on Battle Royale last week, so I'll chuck that video up on screen now, so if you haven't seen that one, make sure to check it out. But starting with Black Ops 4 again, Black Ops 4's Battle Royale mode is called Blackout. One of the main concerns about Blackout was its player count, with some people initially thinking it'd actually be less than 60 players. But with the beta just having passed, we now know that the player count is going to be at least 80, with Treyarch's David Vonderhaar saying that the player count could be increased in the future. Blackout will drop players into a massive map, which is a combination of fan favourite maps throughout the history of the Black Ops series. As you can see on screen, the map includes snippets from maps like Nuketown, Firing Range, Raid, and heaps more. And just from the beta, the general feedback on Blackout has been pretty positive. In case you haven't picked it up from the map, Blackout sets out to be a combination of all the best parts of the Black Ops series, all combined into one Battle Royale game. So what this means is we can go to different maps that featured throughout the series, play as different characters are featured throughout the series, different vehicles, even wingsuits, and even fight enemies that are featured throughout the series, with AI controlled zombies featuring in the map. Now, like I said in last week's video, the term cash grab has been thrown around a lot when talking about Battle Royale. It seems as though Black Ops 4 though, is actually putting a lot of time and effort into developing a really good Battle Royale game that fans can enjoy for the upcoming year. Moving to Battlefield 5, the Battle Royale mode will be called Firestorm. Now, interestingly enough, most of the development on Firestorm will actually be done by Criterion Games. In the past, Criterion Games have developed some of the games in the Need for Speed series and Burnout, as well as having helped with the development of Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. Unlike Blackout, we haven't actually seen any gameplay or had a beta for the mode yet. However, we do know some details about the mode. Battlefield 5's Firestorm will support 64 players in squad mode, with a squad consisting of up to 4 players. The concerning thing at this stage though is that there hasn't been a solo or duo mode announced just yet. As always with Battlefield, Firestorm will include a variety of vehicles that players can use, and it's also been said that there will be certain objectives in the map to complete that will reward you with better gear. Other than that guys, that's all we really have on Firestorm at the moment. We don't have any map details or in-depth details like we have with Blackout. So, with that said, it's really hard to pick a winner at this stage, so unfortunately, this one's gonna have to be a draw for the time being.
Draw.
So finally, I'll give my thoughts on the two games as a whole. If you're looking for a single player experience, obviously you'll want to look at Battlefield 5. And if you're looking for a co-op experience or you love zombies, then look no further than Black Ops 4. As for Battle Royale, it's still a bit too early to make a comparison just yet, even though I'd say at this stage I'm slightly leaning towards Blackout over Battlefield 5. But when it comes to multiplayer, it really depends what type of game you're looking for. This year, Black Ops 4 is going to try and offer a fast-paced, competitive experience where you can strategize with your team to win the game. Of course though, not every single match is going to be super competitive, but overall, if you're looking for a faster paced game, then I'd recommend Black Ops 4. If you're looking for a more epic experience where you can work with a small squad to achieve a big goal, or you just love playing in a vehicle, then Battlefield 5 will be a better choice for you. So that'll do it for today guys, hope you enjoyed. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and let me know in the comments below which game you're most looking forward to and why. I'll make sure to reply to every comment, so I'd definitely love to hear your thoughts below. As always though, have a great day guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.